Hello and welcome to the Faces of Africa Pocket Edition, where we dissect and discuss the topics covered in our weekly documentary show, which takes you through the continent's history, cultures, and major issues through exploring great personalities. This week on Faces of Africa podcast, we're talking about an interesting farming concept called hydroponics. It's a different type of farming, of course, we'll be telling you about later in the podcast from Lesotho. My name is Fathiya Jeff. I am here with
Jeff Muthee.
Hi, Jeff. Been a while.
Hi, Fathiya. How have you been?
Been great. Yourself?
Okay. I'm good. You've been traveling the world, I see.
Yeah, we are. Well, it's just in Rwanda. Okay. But we are creating some content for Faces of Africa, a good documentary that's coming out.
Fantastic. I can't wait to watch it.
Right. So let's just jump into the conversation now and talk about hydroponics. The name of the documentary itself is called Green Diamond. Very interesting name.
Yep.
But the whole concept is on something called hydroponics. And according to my understanding, it's a type of farming that does not need soil.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept when you think about it. This technique of growing plants using a water-based nutrient solution rather than soil. It uses lesser space, and then you grow it using some plastic pipings and tubings, which is amazing.
Our farm is a hydroponics farm. So we basically don't grow vegetables using any soil. So instead of using soil, we do use what is called a grow media. Apart from clay pebbles and grow pots, we have the grow channels. So grow channels are these pipes which mainly are used to transport the nutrient through the plant's roots.
It's actually very beautiful when you watch.
Sure.
It's different. And again, it talks about technology.
Yes. This is where technology comes in to solve modern day problems. The land area is shrinking because of the population is booming, right? So gone are the days when families used to have like 100 acres of land somewhere. So now you'll find the land is smaller and shrinking, right? So this technology helps people to grow food even on their balconies.
And I think it's very interesting that it's that easy, sort of you can access it, which is good.
Yes.
But then the main character of this documentary, Mpali,
Correct.
He's really invested heavily on hydroponics, and he thinks it's a climate smart type of agriculture, which I do agree, the current world we live in. I think it's a fantastic idea. Is it something you'd be intrigued yourself?
Yes, it's a fantastic idea. Knowing that you use less water, you don't use soil, you use something they call the grow agents, and then you can do this type of farming anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're in the urban areas or in the rural areas. You can be able to do this type of farming anywhere. Even in a storied building, on your balcony, you can be able to start hydroponics and farm.
Yeah, because I mean, when you watch the documentary, it actually talks about how there's food insecurity in Lesotho, and that's one of the ways that he's trying to tackle that particular issue.
Yes.
But realistically, though, Jeff, if we're to talk about this, really, especially in an area like Lesotho, do you think it's a sustainable method, farming method for people who especially live in the highlands? Is it affordable also? What are your thoughts on it? Because I kind of think that it's a great opportunity in what they're doing, but I don't think it's affordable to everybody.
It's affordable when you look at it from, this is technology that is coming in to help alleviate a situation, right?
Yeah.
You can be able to plant your food anywhere, grow your crops and your food anywhere.
Yeah.
All right? You don't need that huge mass of land to grow your food. Number two, it will use less water. And then number three, you don't have to get in the expensive tractors or labor force to try and grow your food. So looking at it from that perspective, you can see it's really affordable.
Do you think then Africa is ready to embrace hydroponics as a way of farming, especially to deal with food insecurity?
It's a high time Africa utilized all available means to try and feed itself. I can see, apart from even Lesotho, hydroponics is also in Kenya. People are starting to warm up to hydroponics in Kenya. I know there's a huge company in Kikuyu town where they're teaching people and also trying to encourage people to use hydroponics, right? And then people are warming up to this idea because, again, the land mass is growing smaller and then people need to eat. So we need to harness all the available resources to just make sure that Africa is food sufficient and food secure.
I totally agree. I think with having an alternative way of dealing with food insecurity is the way to go for a continent like Africa.
Definitely.
Instead of constantly waiting on aid.
Yes.
And I think watching this documentary, I think it would really encourage the audience in trying to come up with different ways of dealing with issues around the continent.
I would really encourage people to watch this documentary because it will open up your mind to alternative ways of farming, right? And then instead of doing the kitchen garden, the old way of doing your kitchen garden, you can do hydroponics, and then it looks beautiful. This is something that I would love to see in apartment blocks. Somebody just planting their tomatoes or their kales on the balcony, and just even making your balcony look even much more beautiful, and at the same time feeding your family.
I mean, I agree, but sometimes I feel like kitchen garden is nice. The experience is quite nice, no?
It is, but now the times that we're living in, we do not have the liberty or the luxury of having a kitchen garden.
Right, that's true.
So because it's more of apartment blocks coming up, because the population is growing.
That's very true.
Yes, so hydroponics, I think, is the way to go.
Definitely. I think a very interesting documentary for the audience. Thank you so much, Jeff, for your time.
Thank you so much, Fathiya, for having me.
Remember, you can watch this documentary on our CGTN platforms. On Sunday, it runs live at 12:30 East Africa time, 17:30 Beijing time, and 9:30 GMT. On Monday, it will be uploaded on our YouTube channels. See you next time.